President and Geetham's Vice Chancellor to start this afternoon on an auspicious note by lighting the ceremonial lamp. Gentlemen. Please. Give. Thank you so much, gentlemen. And now for our first speaker today, our Chancellor, Dr. Virender Singh Chauhan, a scientist who's worked in genetic engineering and biotechnology. He's known for his contributions towards developing a recombinant vaccine for malaria. A Rhodes Scholar, he received the Padma Shri in 2012. He was also the chairman of the University Grants Commission and the chairman of the Executive Council of NAC, the National Assessment and Accreditation Council of India. Under his leadership and his desire to continue working hard, experiment, and build an environment conducive to new ideas, Dr. Chauhan is ensuring that Geetham and, of course, Kautilya transcend its rich heritage into an institution of the future. Dr. Chauhan.
Good afternoon to everyone. First of all, I'm delighted to be here. When I came here first, when the Kautilya school was starting, that was the very beginning, I recall we're a little bit further away from the students, but I had the early impression of, I'm very proud of the fact that I was here at the inception. So, chief guest of today's function, Chandrababu Naidu Sahab, Bharat, President of Geetham, my friend Vice Chancellor, Professor Dayanandji, a lot of people whom I see in the front row, whom I know personally, Dilip and many of you, parents of and the well-wisher of students, but most importantly, students who are graduating today. I'm sure it's not by design. I think it must be incidental that Syed, my good friend, your dean, did not allow any exposure, my exposure to you for the 2 years that you've been here. And he is protected from all evil influences that might have brought. But I'm thankful to Syed to have really called me. Now, so I've been interacting. That's my job actually. It's a job I really enjoyed. I've been interacting with the young students for more than 50 years. I started teaching at St. Stephen's College when I was 21 years old. Since then, I fell in love with young students year after year after year. And I was fortunate enough to be involved with some of the very bright young people from the top, because I was entrusted to run Rhodes Scholarship and later on Intellectual Scholarships, and currently including Felix Scholarships. I've seen battery, the generation of very, very good students. And never ceased to amaze me how good the younger generations have become. The past 3 years have been really remarkable for all of us. India universities were shut for more than 600 days. And I've watched the generation that, including yours, that have lived through this tiny little RNA virus that played havoc. And I'm sure you have your own lessons to learn from COVID pandemic, and would have or should have shadows and reflections on how public policies can be made. To my mind, public policies can be many things, but public policies, from where I see public policy, and I'm involved in some of them, is really for public good. So anything that you and I plan, do eventually, currently, futuristic, have to be for public good. So COVID, I'm not going to talk for very long. I have just 10 minutes. I'll touch upon 2-3 things. As I said, I watched this generation, 2-3 years of people who, both from faculty, from students, from doctors, from nurses, my own work in the lab, and many lessons are there. But 2 lessons stand out for me, and that's in the backdrop of public policy. The most important to me is when the pandemic came, rich behaved, and I'm saying this with great care. Rich behaved exactly as rich are expected to, or we are used to how rich behaves. When I rich, I don't mean individual of us who have more money than the others. I really mean at the international level. So it is absolutely true, and it should not escape any future international policymakers, that a very large part of humanity in Africa, many parts of Latin America, never saw any vaccines, although there was a huge surplus of vaccines in the rest of the world. That lesson cannot be forgotten in future public policy. I do want to give this talk as a very serious talk, but I just finished interviewing people to go to 2 major universities, and I was struck by the fact that how many of young people of your generation actually have come out with proposals they want to work in climate change and environment. Suddenly there is a huge, I wouldn't say awareness, I think we are aware of climate change by what we look at fires, not even in Canada, fires in Greece about 3 years back. Currently, as I speak with you, Democratic Republic of Congo is a huge floods there. But it's just that everybody wanting to be part of solving that problem. I think that's very encouraging, but that can be really a bit defeating also. Why it can be defeating at a policy levels or otherwise, to my mind, and this is very personal opinion, is that if everybody rushes to what looks like somebody everybody wants to rush to, is that there will be very few soldiers foot soldiers which will look after doing what needs to be done. So we could be in a situation where we can tell everybody else and nations or states or panchayats, but somebody telling that this is what you should do. And here is a message to, at my age, I think I can easily give you messages. As far as I'm concerned, the issues that I mentioned, 2-3 issues that I mentioned to you, or the climate change especially, I think this has to be personal responsibility. If you want to work in education or health or climate change, environmental degradation, biodiversity preservation, it cannot be A telling B or B telling. Of course, you need clever people to write down the policies and so on, and there are no dearth of clever people, but eventually it has to be personal responsibility. If you are fortunate enough to have obtained higher education, and I consider you very fortunate, you've come to, and brave as well, you've come to one of the finest institutions, you've been taught by very bright people. And I said, I forgot to finish my earlier comment, when I met with you first time, my sense was, although you were a little bit further at that day, is that I was looking at some of the brightest people, and trust me, I've seen very bright people. I was looking at some of the very bright people. And last couple of days when I stayed on the campus and I interacted with some of you I was fortunate to interact with some of you. I'm so pleased at the outcome that Syed and his colleagues and Geetam Kautilya School has been able. I congratulate everybody. I congratulate all of you for having created it. And I'm very happy that I'm part of celebration. There's yet another. I lived through 3-4 disruption. I grew up in a refugee colony. My parents were not very rich. So we grew up in a colony which had no sewage, which had no drinking water. And that's a reality, the reality of our generation at that time. We went to a government school which was in tent. I was fortunate that Delhi University existed and we got educated for nothing. I mean, I don't you go forward, you're well taught, you're well thinking people. Find your call, wherever your call might be. Wherever you find your call is, I think take that very seriously. So take yourself very seriously. Individual responsibility will be very important. That's what everybody, Gandhi said that, Vivekananda said that, if you're fortunate enough to be educated, your job, your only dharma, only job is to make sure that those who are not as fortunate as you
25 years back.
How many of you have seen Spider-Man? The movie, the first one, some part? There's a saying in that, right? With great power comes great responsibility. I'll tweak that a little bit for you. With great privilege comes great responsibility. I think your parents, your family members, Geetam, Kautilya, everybody else who's been associated has invested in you, has believed in you. You have believed in us, being the first batch. You've been brave people. Now, let's make all of this move in a direction that makes all of us proud. And that's something I think 20 years down the lane when we look back, because I'm saying 20 years now because our chief guest was instrumental in bringing ISB, and he went to ISB after 20 years. And where is ISB after 20 years? So ISB is about business, and you can change the world through business, but imagine what politicians can do. Imagine what governments can do if they do it the right way. There's nothing more powerful. So I really hope for the sky for you all, and I wish you all the best. I thank you all the parents for believing in us, and I hope that you're happy with your investment in us. Thank you. Okay, fine. So I'm done with my speech. So I have to introduce our chief guest. All of you can go look him up on Wikipedia. So I'm not going to tell you in detail what you can already find on Wikipedia. What do we know about him? He's a public policy visionary. He's hardworking. He's someone who never gives up. He's often given the story of how he convinced Bill Gates to come to Hyderabad. He's 73 years old, and he hasn't aged much in the last 10 or 15 years that I have seen him. So how he takes care of his health, discipline, we all know this, we can see this. What are things that you may know less of that I would like to say? It is a couple of things that I will say. One is his humility and the value he attaches to ego. He doesn't let it come in his way. If something has to happen, right? There have been many chief ministers in our country. Would they go running after Bill Gates? They'll say, no, let Bill Gates come to me. He's the only person who said that, no, who I am, my identity is not more important than my people. So the higher you grow, the more your ego grows, right? So how are you going to keep that in check? This is one example for you to remember. The other is, as a public policy leader, when he thought about the development of the state, one thing he said is very essential is the importance of safety, security, and also the growth and development of women and children. If you look at the journey of the erstwhile United States and today the separated states, the peace that he brought has brought prosperity. Today, Telugu people are the fastest growing demographic in many of the most developed nations. In the United States, it's the highest per capita income that they earn, larger than the Jewish community, and the fastest growing community in the US. In the top 10 cities of GRE test takers in the country, 5 cities belong to Andhra and Telangana. All of these were his value that he gave to bringing safety, peace to this environment. Tolerance. Today we see an environment where we want to undo what the other person has done or say what the other person has done is wrong. He created an environment of tolerance. He took criticism. He allowed it to exist. And if you see, because of that, even after he lost power in 2004, subsequent governments continued what he started. The last 4 years is an anomaly. I hope something like that doesn't happen to Andhra again. But from 2004 to 2019, we could see how Telangana or Andhra Pradesh has progressed. And one other thing I think that's very important is, as humans, we age, we die, we get weaknesses, we get baggage. Everyone does. Even Chandrababu Naidu garu. He's my leader politically in a different leg of my life. But what sets him apart is, yes, he's got baggage. But how does one evolve? How does one shed baggage? How does one reinvent themselves for the future? Many leaders live very well for 5 years, 3 years, 10 years. But someone who's been active and at the forefront of leadership and policy making from 83 till now, 2023, 40 years, and at the amount of pressure that he has been in, and still keeping himself fresh and evolved, learning, and now he's speaking about artificial intelligence more than I am speaking, right? So this is the kind of leadership that we should all inspire to be. And with these few words, I am very glad to introduce our chief guest, Chandrababu Naidu garu, and we are very grateful to you, sir, for coming and accepting our invitation to speak to our students. And I request you to come and share your thoughts with the audience.
Respected Chancellor, Mr. Virendra Singh Chauhan, President Geetam, Sri Bharat, Dean, respected Syed Akbaruddin, members of the Board of Trustees of the Kautilya School of Public Policy, distinguished guests and parents and friends. By seeing all of you, I addressed so many convocations. First of its kind, I am addressing a public policy graduation ceremony. This is the first time I am seeing you. I am very happy to address all of you, because public policy is a very powerful tool. If you make a proper public policy for future generation or present generation to solve the problems, it will go a long way. Sometimes, without knowing all these things, we are all working. That's why we suffered long time after independence in poverty, or people used to heckle us, Hindu growth rate, that is 1% or 2%. And at the same time, the name of the School, I am very happy, Kautilya. Nobody can tell. If you think once Kautilya and Ardhashastra, then you know how to deal. I am very happy, very apt name, excellent name, you are named, but your students has to prove it now. The outgoing students has to do it, all these things. I really appreciate all of you. Now, Mr. Bharat and also Vice Chancellor has rightly mentioned, I want to place before you, I am always talking ahead of times. That is the problem with me. That's why my stakeholders sometimes may not understand. Sometimes I'm losing elections, but my policies are permanent. The benefits are permanent. If 25 years back, I created a vision for combined Andhra Pradesh. Then all people used to call me, where is vision? What is vision? No vision is only a 420. As they rightly mentioned, I had a extra amount of tolerance to bear all these things. Today, you have seen the Hyderabad. 25 years back, if I should have thought, why should I do all these things by taking all seat? Then today Hyderabad will be different Hyderabad. It may be some improved version. That is where I prepared Vision 2020. Today, that vision has become a reality. People are enjoying. Some people may not vote. Some people may not remember because you are all younger generation. Memory is very short. But my conscience always tells me, you have done right job. That is the satisfaction I am having from the beginning. If you see here, this forum I am putting one more vision India 100 years. 2047, India's 100 years Independence Day. Recently we celebrated 75 years independence celebrations. If you see now, I have seen how village roads, how traffic. When I became first time MLA in 78, government used to allot 2 jeeps for us, that too military jeeps. We used to go to military campus and bring the jeeps and get repair. Always we had to push it. It won't start. That was the beginning. That is the road's condition also. At that time, they used to give us 3 cylinders, gas cylinders, MLA privilege. We used to recommend the cylinders for our stakeholders and also telephones. Of course, never it worked at that time. Even lightning call, if you connect it, it will take 1 week to mature. That was the status. Now, it is very inspiring time. If you see now, everything is happening. You are seeing new India. And also, if you can compare before economic reforms and after economic reforms, pre and post. Pre-economic reforms, only 1.5–2% growth rate, and so many problems, no opportunities. Only elite people will go to America for their career. After that economic reforms, first government, minority government. After that coalition governments. Now single party government at center also. But at the same time, if you see all these years, growth is very, very attractive, and also things are happening. India is very strong long back. If you see 1600s, 1700s, at that time we were very strong in number one economy in the world. Somehow afterwards, invasions, all these things, we lost glory. If you see here, if the present rate is growing, India per capita income will be 26,000 US dollars at 2047. And also, if we are growing now 8 to 9 times for the last 25 years average, if you grow same rate as on today, we are fifth largest economy in the world. One is China and USA, Japan and Germany. Same rate, if you grow, you will be third economy, another 25 years' time. If you grow 11 to 12 times, you can cross America. If you grow 15 to 16 times, you can cross China. Can we aim number one economy by 2047? Yes, it is possible. That is possible because youngsters like you has to dream it and you have to work forward to achieve this. What I am saying, as individual or as organization, it is possible to achieve all these things as an organization. Here I want to say one thing. Even earlier, same population or same people, after economic reforms, we are able to improve our efficiency. All of a sudden, what is the mantra? Why it has happened? It is only public-private partnership model. This is what I call P3. If you see, when I started, I don't have money. I want to develop it. Then I started Hyderabad high-tech city, first monument, knowledge economy. Then I innovated how to go about, then public-private partnership. First I called L&T. They are very good in construction. I gave land, piece of land. Then I asked them to build a tower. 15 years, 20 years, you can get returns. After that, you can give back to the government. That is the model we created. Today, you have seen without investing one pi, we are able to construct Hyderabad. As a matter of fact, we got so much money. For all these things, if you see proof of concepts, one is power sector reforms. As a policymaker, I am informing you. At that time, there is a deficit in power revenue, even generation. In assembly, we used to engage every session, 50% of time, power cut and agitation by MLAs. There is agitations outside. Even as Chief Minister 95, 96, I used to go and visit fields which are all dried up because of power cut in helicopters. That is the demand at that time. Then I brought power sector reforms. That is the beginning. Everybody told me, don't do it. Again, I have done very vehemently. But of course, I lost power in 2004. But I am having satisfaction. I am the pioneer in India in power sector reforms. That is the benefit India is enjoying today. That is how things have happened. Even if you see telecommunication sector, one policy. Earlier, BSNL, VSNL. BSNL international calls, BSNL domestic calls. Never they worked. Very, very inefficient organizations. China used to go in a big way. Then I initiated this. I had a political influence at center. Mr. Vajpayee accepted. That is how I was co-chairperson for that committee. We gave a report. That is the benefit everybody is enjoying today in telecommunication sector. One policy has made all the difference, and also now it is able to bring so much of health for the nation. Even if you see at the time flights, we had Air India. Recently, Air India also privatized. At that time, Air India will operate one flight to different countries, then we can give reciprocal. Never we had a flights, so we used to block it. Then we brought it open sky policy. First flight in India from Dubai to Hyderabad, Emirates. That is how now so much of difference in civil aviation. Even Greenfield Airport, you are seeing Hyderabad. First Greenfield Airport in Hyderabad, in India. I used to visualize 20 airports to build Hyderabad Airport. 5,000 acres, first of its kind. One of the best airport you are seeing today. This is how things we are able to visualize we have done. Even one more reform, roads. Our roads are very bad condition. Today, that is what I told from my house, I was able to reach 1 hour time. I used to come Sangareddy regularly as Chief Minister also at that time. 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours. Even though it was a national highway, but so much of time. Today, roads transformed the nation very well. Anywhere you want to go, one of the best road network we are having, that is the benefit of public policy. Even if you see Hyderabad, so many policies, infrastructure, outer ring road, and also for employment, all in IT, BT, pharma, finance, you name everything we are able to do, all only policies. If you see at that time, nobody visualized the importance of biotechnology. Then I asked Bill Gates, as rightly mentioned Bharat, at that time, first time, internet revolution has come because of Bill Gates. Then he came to India. I was desperate to meet him as Chief Minister. Then he said, I don't have any work with politicians. Then I said, no, I am having some work with you. I want to meet with you. Then he said, okay, you can join cocktail party. Then I told him, if I join cocktail party, I may not get good name. And at the same time, everybody will campaign that I am also joining in a drunkard party. So I don't want to come. With great difficulty, he gave me 10 minutes. I prepared 2 days. Even professionals, they never used to present PowerPoint presentations. Nobody used to do that. Then I prepared very well. 10 minutes he gave me. Then he spent with me 45 minutes. Then he said, I entirely agree with your vision. I am very happy. What can I do? I said, nothing I am expecting from you. You know the strength of India. Come to Hyderabad and start your development centers. With that, I didn't leave it at that stage. All the way, I went to Seattle to meet him, to pursue with him. 3-4 times, I met him in Davos. I pursued further. Finally, Microsoft has come to Hyderabad. The person who worked in Hyderabad, Nadella Satya, has become the president of Microsoft. That is how things will happen. One step you move, another step it will add. If you see here, even biotechnology, same thing. At that time, I asked Bill Gates, why can't you focus on biotechnology? He said that is futuristic, I cannot do it. Then we started Genome Valley. Today, after 20 years, COVID vaccine is manufactured in Genome Valley. We are proud of it. Country is proud of it. That is how things are happening with public policies. Even then, I didn't spend much money. Only on the other side of the city, 1,500 acres of land I have given for Genome Valley, Biotechnology Park. So education, one of the best education institutions we are able to bring in public-private partnership. And also another proof of concept if you see NRIs. I am always saying all youth, don't always be job seekers. Be job providers. That is what you have to do now. When I saw youth at that time, Hyderabad IT, even body shopping work, even that also we didn't do properly because pronunciation, all these things problems, English pronunciation. Then we got excellent English coaches from Britain. Then we used to do all these things. Then our people went to abroad. At that time, we didn't go for products. I used to say, go for products. Today, everything is available. I used to say, be entrepreneurs. I am proud to say, so many Telugu entrepreneurs all over the world. Once I used to quote Jewish, number one. Today, per capita income, Indians are doing extremely well. And also 35% among Indians are from Andhra Pradesh. That is, I am very proud to say this. This is everything is possible. All these things happen within 25 years' time. Here, I wanted to emphasize all of you. India has grown for the last 25 years 8 times, whereas China has grown 49 times. Now China is having disadvantage. Demographic disadvantage has started. Now aging problem has come. They have gone one child norm. Today, that one child norm has become a big problem for them. Now population is declining. Aging is increasing. That is the biggest disadvantage. In India, some last 25 years has grown 20 times. Some states has grown 8 times. You see the difference. Because of the difference, haves and have-nots, and difference in per capita income, and also wealth, and also revenue for the governments, all these things are happening. If you grow all these things, at least 15 to 16 times, India will be number one globally. That is going to happen. This is our dream. This is where we have to work it out. If you see, India is having 3 advantages. One USP is technology. Nobody can dominate in the near future. Nobody can beat Indians. That is 100%. I am telling you with my experience for the last 25 years. Second one, India is very strong. India is positioned demographic advantage. 40% of population is below 25 years. If you can give proper skills to them, proper education, then you can see the potential, they can do wonders. As on today, every year, 2.5 million people are migrating from India to different parts of the world. It is a big number, number one in the world. But at the same time, India is capable of supplying workforce to the world. That is the capacity India is having. Up to 2047, India is going to have this advantage. Now I am promoting one more thing. India can go further, the policy of population management. All countries never bothered about population management. Because of that, Europe, complete demographic disadvantage. Japan, China, America, all countries are facing. If we can work towards that by visualizing, promoting population, even youngsters, all of you, I'm telling you, especially students, people are becoming more and more selfish when they get more and more wealth. This is the definition I used to say always. Once undivided Hindu family, they used to have children. After that, both wife and husband are getting employment. Double income, no kids, let us enjoy. That is the theory. This is a dangerous theory. Then population also we have to manage. This is where we have to go for management of politics, then population. Then nobody in the world is able to compete with us. Future is for Indians. I'm telling you, this is my vision 2047. Corporate governance, Indians will dominate. Public governance, Indians will dominate. If you see Britain Prime Minister, 75 years back, they ruled us. Today, Indian origin has become Prime Minister of this country. That is the strength of India. That is the strength of Indians. That is how things are going to happen. And also, one more opportunity for Indians and also youth. As on today, more than 50% of middle income group are in USA or Europe. In future, this is going to shift it towards India. 2004 and 5, 14%. Now it is 31%. 2030, it is going to become 63% middle income group. With this, if you see all over the world, 44 trillion they are spending expenditure as on today. It is going to increase 62 trillion. This is a huge opportunity for youngsters to create public policies and also work towards that, how to exploit all these things. For this, virtual and physical working is the solution. COVID has given a very good advantage for us. Sitting in a remote village, you can start a company. Sitting from a remote village, you can work any company. You can work, you can earn money. That is possible. These are all the various innovative thoughts, creativity, opportunities are coming in the future. This is where today I am promoting youngsters for all of you in this convocation. P3 model, PPP, public-private partnership. We are able to create wealth. And at the same time, wealth has created huge variations between haves and have-nots. This is the biggest problem. Some people are getting 150 rupees a day wage. Some people are getting crores of rupees as honorarium. That is the variation. How to bridge this gap? This is where I am saying one more model, P4 model. People, public, private partnership. If you make people also partners and do this experiment, poor to rich, how to make it? If you do this experiment, 2047, India, anywhere in the world, we can make it totally poor to rich. This is our ambition. It is possible. How to do this model? There are so many models we are working. In Amaravati, one example I am giving you. Around 29,000 farmers. They contributed 34,000 acres of land willingly, without any force. Voluntarily they have given for capital. Then freely I got land. I gave some remuneration for 5 years and 10 years. And ultimately, because of that land, I can meet all my requirements, public buildings, infrastructure, roads, everything. Even then I am going to save 10,000 acres of land. And also I am going to give back after development for acre around 1,200 square yards or 1,400, some in commercial, some for residential. Because of that, they are getting money, government is getting wealth, and we are going to generate wealth. This is the best model, I thought. Public, people, public, private partnership. That model, somehow, it is in doldrums because of policymakers. That is another story. I don't want to place before you all political issues here. But my intention is Every poor man, how to make rich man, it is in our hands. Take example, technology is available. With this technology, is assets, liabilities, is population and human resources and natural resources, and prepare a vision for his family. Every family we can prepare a vision, and if you can execute that vision by people like you, even private companies, even our Geetam, they are having some bandwidth. They can take 100 families to transform, or some industry can take, or individual can take, NRA can take. Then if we transform with the support of government will be a regulator. Same model, and facilitator. Sometimes they will share all these things. Then India will become a great country. Not only acquiring wealth, not only creating wealth, how to make this health universally distributed or otherwise, bridge the gap between haves and have-nots. This is one model I want to promote all of you. I am very happy. We are in knowledge economy, beginning of infinity. Anything you wanted to achieve, it is possible with you. For this, you need leadership. You are having proper leadership qualities with innovative ideas and capability to execute. Everything is possible. And also, digitally, if you see, we are all in 5G, IoT, artificial intelligence, machine learning, cloud, and also so many things we are working. India is blessed with this. If you see Aadhaar, JAM, Jandan, Aadhaar, and also mobile, these are all very deadly combinations. I have given a report to Government of India for digital currency. At that time, digital transactions very less after abolition of 500 and 1,000 rupees notes. Today we are number one globally in digital transactions within 5 years' time. Now I am promoting one more concept. Abolish 500 rupees, 1,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees. Then no money laundering, no hoarding of cash and also wealth, and also no distribution of money for voters. That is the biggest corruption in India, and bribing the voters. Then you can see the economy. One GST. Every month we are able to get 2 lakh crores. That means 12 months, 24 lakh crores. Even there is a huge opportunity. If you do this policy also, it will double or otherwise it will triple. Money is not the criteria. Proper good policies, we can do wonders. That is what I wanted to say here. Even all these things is one. World Inequality Report 2023. Most unequal distribution of wealth is India. This is one more alarming factor. Even some people are having huge wealth generation, others are not having. That is another problem. For this one example I'm giving you last, this is self-help groups I created, gender equity. Poor women, I used to organize 25 years back. Now in Andhra Pradesh, if you see, 7 lakh groups are there, 90 lakh members are there to work in these groups, 35,000 crores they are borrowing every year, 99.5% repayment, 30% of India's turnover